Hi, in this video we'll talk about CloudFormation Designer. So let's get started. From AWS console, from the home screen, we'll click on services and we'll go to CloudFormation. And here we can design our template. We can write any template using JSON or YAML and save them in text files, or alternatively we can AWS has the provision where we can graphically visually design what we need and the template will be automatically created, and that is the whole purpose of a design template. A very nice tool provided by AWS. So let's see how it works. So I am clicking on design template. Now let's say that we want to deploy web server, just a basic one, and how we can do that. So once we click on the template designer, you see this is screen, different parts here. Here is the resource type, and this is where you will see your template that will be auto generated. And you can switch from JSON to YAML. For example, if you look here, this is in JSON template. If I click here, it automatically switches to its YAML version. We'll be using JSON for this video. And here you see the updates messages, and this is the working area where we'll work with different elements that we need in a template. And let's see how we use these different parts of the screen of the designer as we keep going. Before I start, you might be interested to see that we can start a new template. We can open an existing template, we can save, or we can use sample templates and some other icons as you will go over them. The tooltip, for example, this one is pretty much a self-explanatory. For example, this one says when we have a diagram here, then this helps us to download the diagram as an image, and you can maximize or minimize this pane, but I'll just keep it like this. So this template, its name is new.template by default, but I want to change the name of this template. So I click on template here, I click on this icon. Let's say I want to name this as web server .template. So template, I type the name web server and I press enter. Now here you see that it has been changed. Now this tutorial is about CloudFormation template designer, not about all the elements that you can use in the as part of AWS. That's the list is huge, and that's why as our main purpose is to know how to work with template designer. We won't go into much detail of what resource has what meaning, what is the purpose, that we'll see in the relevant tutorials. So for example, let's say so to keep going, let's say we want to deploy a web server. So we are creating a template and we are visually creating a template. So from the left resource pane, we select EC2, and here it has the available resources under EC2. We will select VPC, virtual private cloud. So I just drag and drop it here. We need a number of elements here, as you'll see as you keep going. So I just increase its size so that it can accommodate everything that we need. So this VPC probably not a very good name here, as you can see. So we can actually, by using my mouse scrolling button and just dragging and dropping, I can change them. I want to change this name because you see this is an AWS2. When I hover over the resource, you can see now that it's AWS EC2 VPC and its name is EC2 VPC something, but we'll change it to something that we can remember. So let me right click on this, and I have this menu, and this menu shows the link to relevant documentation. I can delete this one. I can duplicate if I want. If I need more than one element, I can just duplicate by clicking this. In this case, this is the icon that we are interested in, edit properties. Here you see that as soon as I selected this, in the template, you see under resources, this resource has been created. If you compare this name, and here you see that the name, you will see that this is what automatically created. But the name is not very user-friendly, very friendly for us to remember. So what we'll do, we'll change the name here. Let's say we'll just delete the name and we'll give the name VPC. And the designer is out of date. It says we need to hit refresh because we have changed the name. So I am clicking refresh. Now if I go here, you will see that the name has been changed to VPC because we changed the name here. Okay, so what we're going to add in this virtual private cloud is one subnet. So added a subnet by dragging and dropping, just increasing a bit more because I know based on my plan I'm going to have an EC2 instance here as well. So once again, in the same way, let me change the name of this as here we have subnet out of date, so refreshed. Now you see its name is subnet. I'm going to keep an instance here, a virtual server here, instance. From left pane, drag and drop. This is the instance. So the instance is selected here, the instance. I want to change its name as web server. Let's say web server. Of course, I need to refresh as we have seen before. So this is the web server. Also, as part of, so I think I can minimize this a bit. Yes, I don't need anything else here. Now, what I need is, a security group for my web server. So I will drag and drop the security group here. Just making it nice. It really doesn't matter whether you put it here or here. I'm just putting it here just to make it look good. So this is the security group. I am going to change the name to web server security group. Web server security group. So you might have a question in your mind that, do I need to change the name? No, you don't, but the default names are not very human friendly. It's hard to remember, so we will always try to give names that make sense to us and that's easy to remember. So refreshing, and I have the latest version here. And also I am going to add a routing table here. Let me expand it a bit, and I'm going to, this is the route table. I'm going to change it as web server route table. Refreshing to update the design, and within the routing table, we're going to drag and drop a routing a resource route. And once again, this one is automatically selected here. I'm going to change this resource name to web server route. It makes more sense to us. And another thing that I need to implement a basic web server is the internet gateway. So they are sorted alphabetically, so I can go on internet. Here we go. This is internet gateway. So this is the internet gateway. I am going to give it this internet gateway, so I'm going to give its name as web server internet gateway. Just use any name that makes sense to you. I'm just giving the name that is convenient for me to remember. So I'll refresh. Now here you see that it's web server internet gateway. This one is web server security group. This one is web server route. This one is web server route table. This one is web server, and this one is subnet, and this one is VPC. Now what we'll do is we will connect these resources. We have dragged and dropped the resources. Now it's time for us to connect those resources. And so for this implementation, I'll just zoom a bit, probably a bit less. So now what we're going to do, so this is the VPC we have. We have the VPC web server subnet instance routing table and route, the internet gateway. You need an internet gateway to connect to and from outside world from your virtual private cloud. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect this VPC with the internet gateway. So if we, I'll just drag it a bit here. If we take our mouse cursor over here, we'll see that the name is VPC gateway attachment. I'll just drag and drop this connection here. You see, the moment I have started dragging, the VPC is highlighted, which means this internet gateway can be connected to this VPC. So I'm connecting this, and then we are going to connect the routing table, the route to the internet gateway by using the gateway ID. So let's have a look here. You see this, if they have different, they're for different purposes. If I click, go on this one, I see that this is for the gateway ID. So it is for the internet gateway. So I should drag and drop this connection to the, you see the gateway is automatically highlighted when I started dragging. So I connected this route, and also the route depends on gateway. So I click the depends on, or once again I click the depends on, and I connect it with the gateway. Depends on, drag and drop, just connect it. And then we also have instance. Instance will depend on route, because instance, the web server needs the route to have traffic, incoming and outgoing traffic. So depends on, let's find the depends on, the one which is depends on. We will discuss about the rest later on. So here is the depends on. It depends on the route. So I'll drag and drop. Here you see this is highlighted. So I'll just connect. And then I will connect the route table with the subnet, because they have a dependency. And if we don't create the proper dependency, our stack will not work, because this is the template that we're creating, visually creating the template that we will use later on to create a stack. So the routing table is also depending on the subnet. So what we'll do is we will go for the depends on, and then we'll connect it to the subnet. So that's how we use Designer, CloudFormation Designer, to design a template. And as you keep going, your template gets changed. You can just switch from JSON to YAML, just like this. Just clicking, it's as simple as that. And also you need to save your template. You can save it locally, or you can save it on the Amazon storage. So saving locally is just as simple as saving any file. So let's see how we can save it. So if I click here, save, then it gives me the option whether I want to save it as a local file or as Amazon S3 in S3 bucket. So let's me save it locally. I'll click on local file and I'll save it as a web server.template. I'll hit save, and it is asking me, so I'll say yes, I want to save it, and it is normally saved in the download folder. If I open my download folder, just change the views for better viewing. So you see that I have the web server template is stored here. And also by using a single click of this button, we can export this diagram as an image. So let me just show you very quickly. Download diagram as an image, just clicking on that. Save file, clicking on save, going back to my downloads folder, and here you see as PNG format the diagram has been saved. So that's how we work with CloudFormation Designer. We have saved the template that we're going to use it later on. In this by now we have seen how we can add the resources and connect to them, and we also need to add the parameters, and if we need to, we need to also add mapping, so before we can create a stack, because just providing resources and connecting is not enough to create a stack. We need to also design the specify the parameters. So by now we have seen how we can graphically design a template and have the resources and connect them, rename them. We have also seen the template which automatically generated that we can quickly switch between JSON and YAML, and we have also seen how we can save the file so that we can use later on. So, however, we have saved it locally. So we'll see how we can add properties and other required things in this stack in next tutorial video. Thank you.